Welcome to episode 12 of the Rebel Rundown with Hayley and Ben. We're looking forward to getting into our first episode of the new year and talking about the CrossFit Open and goal setting and chatting about our holidays maybe.
Yeah, and our own goals. And it should be a good podcast. I'm excited. It's 2025. It's come around quick. It's already the 17th.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
It is.
So it's good. So it's the 17th. So we're, obviously it's like the third week of the year, but like first week sort of back to full schedule here at the gym. So it's been pretty good. How you been feeling this week?
Yeah, pretty good. It's always a bit of a adjustment.
Yeah.
Just trying to get back into normal routine and figure out where everything's at and start getting back ahead on things because you kind of fall a little bit behind after 2 to 3 weeks out of normal work. But yeah.
Did you have a good break? What'd you do? I know last podcast we were talking about what you were going to do. What did you do?
Yeah, not a bad break. We took the family up to Bright for just under a week and that was good, really good for the kids. Got out on the mountain bike once, which would have liked to do a bit more of that, but had one good day up at Mystic doing some downhill riding and a lot of time at the river. Yeah, bit of no reception time. So
that's good. Forced phone.
It was good at times. At times I was happily had some connectivity, but
do a bit of a scroll.
Outside of that, just a little bit of work in amongst the break, so it wasn't like a full break, but just family time really. Yeah.
Fun.
How about yourself?
Yeah, I had a good break. Had 10 days out of the gym, which was good. Spent 5 days in Mornington and then 4 days on the sunny coast, so in Maroochydore, which was really fun. It was good fun.
Yeah.
Did lots of training. It was hard to come back to work though. I've never had a break like that where it was I actually kind of went away. So it made coming back pretty hard. But now that we're back in routine, it feels normal and it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, it was rough.
You could have had a few more days, you reckon, up north?
I don't know. I think it was good. The 4 days was perfect. I was ready to come home.
Gotcha.
Up there. But then I got home at 2 a.m. 2:30 a.m. I literally got to my house. And then I had work at 9 o'clock the next morning. And then spent the whole day out of the house and then worked all day Monday. And I think I just needed a few days at home. But it was good because then I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off last week. So I kind of got that. I just had to work a few days in between.
Yeah. The scheduling was tricky this year. I think we all sort of had a bit of that. We went away. I think all of us actually did that. Where we had some time away and literally the next day it was
straight back to work.
Into work, which it is nice to be able to get home, chill out, get your stuff in order.
Yeah. Well, it was I had a really good break, but then you come home and there's no time to it's when you're on break and you want to try and get everything done around your house. I pretty much in that week, I fully cleaned my whole house, went through a bunch of stuff, took heaps of stuff to the op shop, threw out a bunch of stuff. So I wanted to do all of that. Yeah, which I did end up doing. So it was pretty productive. But yeah, it's been good and it's been a good few weeks back in the gym. It's good to see everyone again.
Yeah. The vibe in the gym's been good. There's been lots of people that have trained through really well, and then people who've had a bit of a break seem to be coming back really well too, which is awesome because it can be challenging, but overall it's been a good sort of first week back into the swing of it.
Yeah, just slowly trickle everyone back in from holidays. There's still a fair few people away, but yeah, I think next week a bunch more people come back and have nice full classes again. So it's good, but that's it. We've had a pretty good few weeks. It's only been a few weeks since we last did our podcast, but we will give out some shout outs because it has been we're wrapping up the end of our last cycle, which means that we're doing a bunch of testing in CrossFit, which I think those workouts have been a bit tough to test because we have had a bit of a weird time period. But weightlifting, there's heaps of PBs that people have been hitting in weightlifting. So I've listed some down. You can list them off, Ben. It's been tons.
Yeah, well, let's touch on Eb first because she's had an awesome week. She hit a 110 back squat on Monday, I think it was, and then a 100 kilo front squat yesterday, which I saw just a video of, and she really smoked that.
Yeah.
A 62 kilo power clean and jerk.
Which was like a clean and jerk PR and a jerk
Yeah.
PR. She did that last week.
And a 48 kilo power snatch. So
That's right.
she's on fire,
Yeah.
And she's one of those ones that has trained through, had a little bit of time off, but was back to work pretty early. And you can see the value in training through if you're around.
Yeah, and just consistency in general. Like, even if she'd had a break, I'm sure she still would have hit pretty good numbers because she's here. Like, you know, she comes to all the weightlifting classes. She trains really consistently. So she earned those lifts, and she's pretty stoked about them. So good job, Eb.
Yeah.
Nick Sheehan also has hit a few PRs. So last night he did 133 front squat. I know last week he did a 95 kilo power clean and jerk, which he was pretty happy about. And I think there's probably some other PRs in there too. You're just too quiet about it, Nick. You need to make sure you tell me when you hit PRs. Yeah. He's been smoking it. Tegan, make me cry reading Tegan's. I miss her.
Yeah, I know.
It's been said this week. Tegan.
We've had a couple of really cool people who have moved into state,
Yeah,
but
this year, which has been sad. But before Tegan, before she went up to Queensland on her second last day here, she hit a 65 kilo power clean and jerk, which was she was stoked about. That was awesome.
Yeah, well earned.
Yep.
And then we've got Nick Kerr here with a 100 kilo front squat.
Yeah, last night I'm like, Nick, what's your best front squat? He's like, 75. I'm like, oh, you're going to try heavier today? He's like, yeah, maybe. Anyway, he did 80. It was easy. I'm like, you got to go up? He's like, oh, I don't know, maybe. I'm like, no, you're going up. He did 85, easy. 90, easy. I'm like, all right, 95, easy. I'm like, Nick, you have to do 100. Like, he was ready to call it quits at 80. So what's that, 25 kilo PR?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Chi Wen with a 39 kilo snatch. She definitely had more in the tank, but she thought she put 40 on the bar next, and she went to 45.
Oh, no.
And then that kind of freaked her out, and she
right.
called it. But, I think her best was like 34 or something. So she's done really well there, and just being consistent, coming once or twice a week to weightlifting, and
it
that's
shows
really showing.
In workouts too, because she's like last week she did, or the last 2 weeks she's done workouts with like 35 kilo squat cleans, like multiple reps in the workout, like looks super good. She has been linking double unders and literally looks like she's been doing double unders for years. Like, it looks so easy. She also got her first strict pull up, and then on Monday, because I didn't video it when she first did it. Monday I was like, Chiwen, go do another one. Like, I'll get a video. Anyway, then she's just busting out doubles.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, very cool.
So, yeah, that's cool.
Very cool. Stephen with the 165 back squat. That's getting pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I don't think he wears a belt or knee.
No, he's a raw dog.
Either, so he might even have a little more in the tank there, but that's pretty cool. And Lizzie with the 84 kilo front squat as well.
So good. 1 kilo PR, Lizzie. We'll take it. Very good.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's good. It's been awesome, and like people have been like doing the retests, as we said, from the start of the cycle as well. So today we have Fran, which Maddie and Al this morning, they both beat their scores, which was pretty cool. I think Al got it by like 5 seconds, but when it's Fran, like that's pretty good. So
yeah, and she didn't train for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, she's training up
there. She did a little bit, but not like our program, and not like normal. So
we did that. We did that other open workout. I don't remember what number it was.
19.2, I think it is.
Yeah. We did our bench press, so 20 RM, which I think everyone executed much better this time than last time.
There was lots of PBs on that, and I think just knowing what you're in for. And then if you did do it the first time around and you hit the 20, like you probably know you can add a couple of kilos and get it. Or some people were like 18 or 19 reps, did the same weight. And got that. So.
And people also, before that, we tested a 1 RM, and like heaps of people just like PR'd their 1 RM by doing the 20 RM like cycle too. So that was good. And that's it.
Yeah, good start so far, and CrossFit Open's not far away. So we will just mention too, as we sort of transition into the CrossFit Open, Hayley's been talking a bit about the previous cycle Perform, how we're retesting for that. We're transitioning this week and next week into our compete cycle, which goes for a couple of months. I've done a training brief talking a lot about this cycle already, but just again to recap, you guys can expect to see a little bit more emphasis on things like gymnastics and barbell capacity and cycling. We're going to be chucking in weekly like a benchmark or a CrossFit Open workout or variation of that. So overall, we're just going to put a little bit more emphasis on our conditioning, our work capacity, and get everyone really well prepared for the CrossFit Open, which is definitely going to be testing those areas of your fitness. And we'll be doing a little bit more like strength maintenance work. So people can still get stronger in this time, but we're not trying to push that side of things as hard. So that's kind of a general recap.
Yep.
And then when we look at the CrossFit Open, we're going to sort of break this down into some different stages. So Hayley, do you want to sort of explain what the CrossFit Open is?
Sure. So I guess the CrossFit Open is like, it's like an online competition that is worldwide, and it's pretty much run by CrossFit, like the company CrossFit. And they've been doing it for years and years and years. Like, I don't know what number open this is, but...
I think 2011 was 2010 or 11. I think 11 was the first CrossFit Open. Before that, they did like a straight to sanctionals thing, and you just have to register and do it.
So pretty much what it is it's like the first stage of the CrossFit Games season. So some of you guys may have watched like the CrossFit Games in the past. That's like the final stage of this. The CrossFit Open is the first stage. And what's really cool is obviously at the CrossFit Games, it's like all elite athletes and like everyone's just like next level fit. This stage is for everybody. So it's pretty much like, it's meant for the affiliates where pretty much anybody can participate. Everyone's doing the same workouts. There's an RX division, and then there's also like scaled foundations, there's age groups, there's masters. It's pretty much like a worldwide big competition that's accessible to everyone. And yeah, it's the starting point. So obviously people do this, and then there are stages that come after, but also like this is just a good like competition for many people to do, even if they're not even worried about the rest of the stages. So
yeah, even just like being involved in the community here and you know, challenging yourself in a new or different way to normal is a really cool way to look at it. Like, you don't have to worry about the international leaderboards, regional leaderboards, all that sort of stuff. You can look at that and, you know, have some fun with that too. But yeah, it's a great opportunity to get a taste of competition, practice being judging, having different standards, seeing how you stack up in the gym. Or if you've done the Open prior, then, you know, can you like elevate yourself, finish higher than you have in the past?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, it is cool too. Like, even if you're not necessarily looking at the worldwide leaderboards, you can look at your own past performances. So it's pretty much another way to just keep track of what you do. So obviously we use Sugar World, and like we retest workouts every now and again. Sometimes in the Open they retest workouts that like you may have done in the past, but also like you can just sort of see like last year you might have been in the 80th percentile, and then this year you've gone up a percentile, and it's just a cool place to like look at your progress as well. Yeah.
And this year's a little bit different. They've changed the season format, which there's probably some good things about it. There's some things that personally I really liked that they were doing over the last 3 years roughly. But there's no quarterfinals anymore, which we had about 15 to 16 members, I think, qualify for that last year. That's gone. They've brought in this thing called the Community Cup, which we know a little bit about, but it's the first time they've really run it. So we don't know heaps. And that's basically another stage where anyone who does the Open can do it. It's 3 workouts that have to be done in a single week, and you get broken into different levels based on where you finish in the Open. I think there's about 5 levels. There's like...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's basically... They break it into like the top 1% and then the top, I think, 10%, and that becomes like the advanced. I'm not sure if that's the right terminology, but let's call it advanced. Then they have like, you know, the 70th or the 80th something percentile, 70th to 80 something percent, and that's like intermediate. Then they have like another level below, beginner, novice, something like that. And then those levels will do their slightly different workouts, and then you'll see how you stack up against those same people in those different brackets. So
it kind of gives like a second stage for everybody.
Yeah.
Which is new. Like not everyone has been able to do that in the past, and yeah, it's just like it is a little bit different, like in regards
Yeah,
to
and
quarterfinals, but it is cool.
we're not 100% sure if we'll run it yet
Yeah.
or not. It provides some additional challenge because it is 3 workouts in 1 week. It would mean we'd have to program that in classes, run it in classes, like we did the Soul Rebel Games, which could really work. And we'll weigh it up a little bit more probably once we get through the Open and see where things sit and what more information we have. But there's that, and then they've got, for the top 1%, they go to semi-finals, which is again different this year. It's performed in affiliates with also the opportunity to qualify for in-person semi-finals as well, and then depending on if you finish high enough in those levels of competition, you can then qualify for the CrossFit Games.
So yeah, it's kind of like the semi-finals, the like in-person the online semi-finals are kind of like what the quarterfinals were in a way, but they've just got game spots coming directly out of it. Yeah. And then they've got like other competitions. The semi-finals, the in-person ones, they're a fair bit different this year too, because they have their own personal qualifiers to do it. So say the Torium Pro is running like in Australia, but in order to qualify, you've got to like take part in the Torium Pro online qualifier, which will be, I think is going to be like 3 open workouts and then an extra workout, but it'll be like a separate thing. So say if I wanted to try and qualify for a different one, like there's a fair few around the world, like I could, well, some of them have been restricted, but some of them say like the Mayhem Classic, like I could do the Mayhem Classic online qualifier and like try and do that, which I'm not going to do. But for example, like you could do that, or someone from America could do the Torium Pro qualifier.
I think they're doing the Mayhem Classic now. It's like they're ranking past performance and they're inviting the top 20 men and women. So it's not a qualifier for that now, unless they decide to do like a qualifier for like a couple of spots.
So interesting. I feel like they should close the Torium Pro. I don't know why they're not like restricting it.
Yeah, it's a shame because a lot of the US regions are restricting to their own. With and like, so you can be like live in America, but you're only able to maybe go and do 1 or 2 of their qualifiers rather than like, I don't know how many there are, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Something like that. So.
But they've restricted the Africa one too, so like only people in like Africa and Asia can go to that one. But the Oceania one is like open, so anyone can come to it. Yeah,
we could have US athletes come over and take all the spots, which would be a shame.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't really play out, but
we'll see. Anyway, it's like it's just a little bit different, and I think it'll just look a fair bit different this year, which hopefully will be good, but we'll see. Yeah,
I think if you like. Anyone who wants to go up and spectate at the Torium Pro, that's going to look the same. But they will get to do their own program, which I think is cool because they can potentially kind of like, use their different venues around the world maybe to suit the testing a little bit more. And hopefully Hayley qualifies for that.
We'll see. I think it'll be pretty tough, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. It's always hard to know. You never know. And teams events very different this year as well. They're all got to qualify through online, and there's no in-person team events
before the games.
There are team events at Torian, which we don't know everything about yet, like whether they'll compete on the main floor or whether they'll be outside.
How do you qualify for that?
Same thing, like you register through Torian, you register a team,
and you do like
and I believe the scoring's through the same system, like open workouts and then the extra one, probably as individuals, and they add their scores, something like that.
Yeah.
But again, it's hard to know, and if they don't have that on the main floor, I think they're going to really struggle to get
people watching.
Lots of good teams. Then there's going to be less people going to watch it.
I'm sure they will though, because they will just have heaps of time, like in between the events. Like it's like Down Under that Down Under has a million different categories, and they've got the 2 floors. Like
that's right.
They'd be able to do it.
Yeah. So hopefully that's the case, and we get a similar kind of spectacle to years gone by. Another side note, just for Masters athletes to get to semi-finals, is top 2%, I believe, qualify from the Open, and that's worldwide. So you're going to be top 2% worldwide to then qualify for the semi-finals done in affiliates. But hopefully that answers most of the CrossFit season
Yeah.
questions
So that's
people
the
might
gist.
have.
And like, yeah, it's, I know we've sort of talked about all the other levels, but like bring it back to just the open. We spoke about this a little bit when we did the Soul Rebel Games, but it'll kind of be very similar to that, where we're going to run it on like Saturday morning between 7 to 9 a.m. So that's going to be just CrossFit class for that day. Obviously, if you register for the open, you definitely want to try and come in at that time. If you can't make it, you'll just have to like talk to us to do it in like an open
There'll be times
gym
on a Friday, Sunday, and Monday
Yeah.
that we can
Do
get
it.
them done as well.
But yeah, so coming in between 7 and 9, like obviously you want to be here at 7, and we'll run a few heats within the 2 hours. And it'll be very similar to the Soul Rebel Games, how I will do the workout and Ben might judge me, and then we'll swap over and I'll judge Ben whilst he does the workout. And even if you're not registered, like obviously you can still come in and train on that day. You'll just have to participate in the same thing. You'll get judged. You'll judge someone else in the CrossFit Open workout.
And there'll probably be a lot of the time like 3 or 4 heats. So if you're not competing or judging, then you're going to be spectating, cheering on, being part of the vibe in the gym, and hopefully just hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah, it's always super fun, the open workouts. Like everyone gets around it, and it's just it's like exactly what the Soul Rebel Games were, like people cheering each other on. It's not what you usually see in class, because obviously you're all working out at the same time. So and like people push themselves to that sort of next level, and it's just good fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's always got some cool things. People surprise themselves, and although the workouts might be a little bit different to years gone by, just because of the seasonal changes. Like everyone can have a good crack at things. You can choose week to week whether you do scaled or RX, and you might decide to do a workout RX even if there's a bit of a sticking point, because it's like you might get your first bar muscle up or your first pull up.
Yeah, or you might lift a bar you've never done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's gonna be good.
And we didn't write this on here, but I know a few people have been questioning like whether they register, whether they should do it. Like what would you say if someone was like, oh, I don't know if I should do the open, like I'm not my fittest or I don't have all my skills.
Yeah.
What would you say?
It's a bit like getting a body scan when you start.
Yeah.
It sets a little bit of a benchmark for you, and so if you do it and you surprise yourself and you love it and you didn't register, you'll kick yourself that you didn't.
Yeah.
There's really nothing to like lose from registering. There's only like the potential of like it being like that, and then next year you're like, cool, now I've got like a benchmark, and so I finished like this place in Australia and that place worldwide, and now as you train through the year and you get fitter and stronger, you get to sort of measurably test that the following year and see how those improvements you've made stack up. So it's, as I said, like it can be a little bit daunting for people, but I really don't think there's anything to lose from registering.
No.
If you register and you're like, I don't know, it costs maybe what, $20 US.
Yeah, so it's like
that.
$35-ish.
It's pretty cheap. It's like ends up being $10 a week, and that money doesn't go to us, it just goes to CrossFit. It also helps the high level athletes get paid more, because that's going to filter through into the prize purses and things. So that's how that works, but it's pretty cheap. If you're doing it and you're not loving it and you're hating it, you don't even have to post your scores. So that is optional, but if you register, the option's there, and you can have those data points for
And you kind of feel like you'll feel a sense of accomplishment. Like I remember last year we did the first workout. Obviously the workouts might be a little bit different this year because like of the stages and that. But last year the first workout were the dumbbell snatches and the burpee over the dumbbell. And like we had heaps of people in here on Saturday morning, and probably like 50% of the class were registered before the open. And then in the workout, like we pretty much convinced like almost everybody, like I reckon probably 85% of the class by the end had like registered, put their scores in because they'd achieved this workout that they'd done at a certain standard. Like there was no reason not to register. And then it sort of gave them a little bit of a push to come back the next week and like try and challenge themselves again. So that was really cool. Like there was a fair few people who ended up just registering, because you don't need to register until like the registrations are open now, but like they don't shut until the actual open. So you could see like
you got time, but I would say for our sake, please register sooner than
Just
later.
so that we can prepare.
Because it helps us just navigate, how things are going to look and whatnot. And that way, if you do register, it's like now you've got some accountability over the next month to like
train,
come in, train regularly, train hard,
and like do the open. Like don't let the open workouts when they're programmed like scare you off. Like come in and do them. Expose yourself to the way that they are sort of run because they're structured like we do workouts in here all the time, but often they're like intervals and round, like different things. Open workouts are often structured a little bit different. So, yeah.
And we don't know what they're going to be.
Yeah.
Chances are, if there's 3 workouts, one of them you'll like, maybe 2. One of them you'll probably not like. It's probably unlikely you're going to hate all 3. But, everyone's got their own strengths and
You
weaknesses.
might love all 3.
You might love all 3.
Yeah, last year's were all pretty fun.
Yeah.
What? You don't reckon? Oh, you did. The middle one was a bit rough for you.
Like 1, maybe the first one.
The last one was fun, wasn't it?
It was like thrusters, pull up, heavier thrusters, bar muscle ups. That was the open workout. The third one.
Oh, that was pretty rough.
Yeah,
That was
I
a gross.
hated that.
That was a gross workout.
I didn't hate the second workout. I just didn't perform it well. I didn't feel like I did it to what I could have, and it was a bit frustrating. But I didn't love the first one. I just did okay on it. So.
On that note, is that all the details? I want to talk.
I think that is all the details. So
Alright,
yeah.
Cool. Well, let's have a little bit of an unpack of past opens. What's your favourite open workout? Obviously not that one that
my
we just
favourite
mentioned.
one was one from 2015 when I was probably at my best for open workouts, and it was I think 12 or 14 minutes, as many rounds as possible, 7 ring muscle ups, 50 wall balls, 100 double unders. That was my favourite ever.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I wrote this question down, but I'm just as he's saying that, I'm like trying to figure out what my favourite open workout is. I reckon my favourite was probably I don't know what the freaking number is. It was like 23.1 maybe, but like it was a repeat. It's the one that's like 50 cal row, 40 wall balls, 30 toe to bar, 20 power snatch, 60 cal row.
It finishes
with
20 ring muscle.
So it must be 60 cal row, 50 wall balls, 40
toe to
bar, 30 power clean, 20 ring muscle up, and it's a 20-minute AMRAP. I would love to redo that because
that's a good one.
I got like 18 ring muscle ups when I did that, and like imagine how many I could do now. So that's a good workout. I don't know. It's hard to think of all the open when you put in quarterfinals workouts and that they all just like blur together.
Yeah, the quarterfinals workouts are different. Overall, I personally have enjoyed those more.
I could tell you my least favourite open workout.
Oh yeah?
Shuttle runs and burpee pull-ups.
Yeah, right.
I don't even remember what
that.
I freaking died. I've never died so much in a workout.
Yeah.
And then it had the max thruster after, which was good. I didn't mind that. But then I remember afterwards I felt so sick for so long.
Yeah. Well, I've probably got there's a group of workouts which fall into my least favourite, and they're generally the last workout of the open, and they're always like thrusters and burpees, thrusters and rowing, thrusters and pull-ups. For like the first 4 or 5 years, it was thrusters and chest to bars, and then they changed a bit. It was like thrusters double unders, and thrusters and
it's always thrusters,
burpees, and then thrusters and rowing, and I've never enjoyed those, but one of the worst ones ever was, I think 2012, the very first workout, and it was 7 minutes of burpees to a 6-inch touch.
It's fun.
And that's not the most exciting workout to do.
I'd like
and I remember doing it, and I did it. I didn't do it when it first came out. I think I did it on like a Monday, and I wasn't happy with my score, so I redid it the next day, and I was like quite sore from doing it the first time. I did do better, but as far as like boring open workouts goes, it was probably the most boring one you could possibly do.
I reckon that sounds
probably like it,
kind of good. I wouldn't mind that.
Some people did like 160 something burpees. I think I did like 130 or something.
Yeah, right.
And people were, and like if you're doing 160 plus, it's
So
like
it's
like 20 a minute. And a 6-inch reach burpees is hard. Like you're not, like if you compare it to a normal burpee, it's a fair bit slower and takes a fair bit more effort.
60 would be like over 22, 20.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to be short and light if you
Yeah.
got that score. But people
Yeah.
were doing like 165 and stuff like that. So anyway.
What's your favourite open memory? Workout moment.
Personally, the 2015 year was when I performed the best in that. So that was like rewarding, and finishing like in the top 50 in the region was cool. But probably overall, like honestly, it is like, because I'm always running the open while participating in it, and that's kind of like wearing two hats at the one time. But for me, it's definitely the moments for members where they get their first bar muscle up or their PB lift or something like that. Like they're my favourite moments overall. And yeah, personally, it was just my overall performance one year. Outside of that, I hate the open. Doing it. Doing it.
Okay, wow.
I enjoy it, to be honest. I didn't like enjoying it when I was trying to qualify for the next stage, because trying to run it and do that isn't
It's hard.
the most fun thing to manage both sides of that. But the last few years I've enjoyed participating in it. I've enjoyed the combination of running it. I do enjoy it. I just have some like sour memories.
He's trying to dig himself out of a
I have
hole.
I have some sour memories of like trying to take it as seriously as I could for me, and then also being overloaded with work and trying to like pump everyone else up and help everyone else do good. It's just not a great combo. But anyway, what about yourself?
I reckon I've got a lot, because I actually think the open's quite fun.
Yeah.
I feel like my very favourite open memory, and I reckon I might have mentioned this last year, is like from the very first open that I did, and I did it like scaled. And I remember looking at the workout, and it had like, the workout was that one that was like 120 cal row. No, maybe not. 120 cal row, 80 wall balls, and like 40 ring muscle ups or something.
Yeah.
And the scaled version was like 120 row, 80 light wall balls, and like 40 pull-ups. And I remember being like, pull-ups, like I can't do a pull-up without a band. Like what the heck? How am I meant to do this? And then at the end, I remember I did like one pull-up at the very beginning, and then I tried to do a second one like after my next thing and like couldn't do it. So then I did all the rowing, all the wall balls, and then at the end I did like 30 single pull-ups. And then that was like the peak of my existence. That was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. And like now I've gone and finished that actual workout, because I didn't finish it with pull-up, and now I've gone and finished it with ring muscle ups, which is like pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a big improvement.
Yeah, so I reckon that's my favourite open memory, just being like stoked that I did all these pull-ups.
It's a hard
and like
workout too.
all the people in the gym were just like, you're amazing, you did 30 pull-ups. Like that was so cool. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, that was like so fun. Yeah, pretty much. I do 30 pull-ups. Don't know about you. So
very good.
Yeah, that would be my favourite one. I can't be bothered doing any predictions.
Yeah,
It's too
predictions.
hard.
Look, all I'll
My
say
prediction,
is that
thrusters.
highly likely to see thrusters, but I think that the first week will be a workout that a lot of people in the gym can do as prescribed, and then I would imagine that the second week will be a bit more challenging for that, and probably the third week harder again. But that's pretty common with the themes that we see in the open, and yeah, we'll wait and see. I do think there's a good chance we'll see like a heavy lift as part of 1-2, maybe week 2.
Yeah.
That's my prediction, nothing else.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I reckon there'll be a 2-parter, heavy lift in there. I think we'll see some ring muscle ups.
Yeah.
I reckon some thrusters, and let's say rowing. Pretty
Cool.
easy guesses there.
Cool.
All right, cool. Open, done.
Moving on. Goal setting for 2025.
We've been doing a lot of goal setting with members or at least I have. I feel like Ben probably has a little bit too, but doing a lot of goal setting over the last week, so
yeah,
it's pretty relevant.
Yeah, it's a good time to do it. Start to have some things to focus on in the new year that you can work towards, and you know, if you're setting longer term goals and sort of breaking that down into shorter term things. But why is goal setting important, Hayley?
Because it gives you like a little bit more of a like purpose in your training. Also, it just gives you the ability for like personal growth, because it sets you like a start point and like a finish goal in the future, where you can obviously have personal growth without physically writing down a goal, but it's just a little less measurable, it's a little less easy to see and like look back on. So yeah, goal setting's good to give you like a bit of a path, a focus, also keep you accountable, because yeah, you could just think, oh, I want to do this, but you've never actually set it. So as soon as one, like, oh, I want to get a pull up, as soon as you try and it's too hard, you're like, oh, well, I never told anyone that, I'm just not going to try. Like, you know, so bit of accountability.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes just saying these things, you know, it just helps set you up to have that little bit more of like a path forward, something to focus on. And, you know, people can get a little bit lost at times, you know, and find it harder to be committed and disciplined with training and whatnot. So yeah, definitely worthwhile. It's also can be a really good thing to sort of reflect on the last year. We've done a bit of reflecting just now on the open and stuff, but you know, look back on the year that you've trained and look at some of the achievements that you've made and how you felt. And ultimately, a lot of the goals that you look at setting this year should just be like taking other little steps forward, and they can be in a magnitude of ways. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I want to lift this amount, I want to do that workout in this time, or run, you know, a K in, you know, under 4 minutes, whatever it is. But those kind of like very measurable goals can be good. I also think, and almost more importantly, it's good to set goals around personal growth that are going to actually help you achieve a lot of these more tangible goals. So, you know, it could be something about like having a better attitude in general, dropping some bad habits, focusing on adopting new, better habits and things like that. You know, working on your mindset, working on, you know, how you carry yourself day to day. And if you couple that with having some of those more tangible things, like you can really transform as a person. So, yeah, is there anything you want to add around goal setting? We've got this here, which I think is good to mention.
So I have set like goals in many different ways, like in the past. But yeah, SMART goal is a very good like base that you can kind of use to build a goal. It also gives you just a bit of structure, like to sit down and actually think about what you want to like make your goal a little bit, you know, put a little bit more thought into it, which again, like adds that extra accountability and gives you the measurable sort of data. So I'm sure lots of you have heard of a SMART goal because it's used in like all industries, like everyone uses it. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So it pretty much just makes you not just be like, I want to get a pull up. You know, you have to actually set yourself some set yourself some boundaries so that you've got something to measure. So your goal, obviously, the specific part kind of comes at the end once you like make it up. But like your goal is to get a pull up, so it's going to be measurable. So you need to like, what could you do for measurable?
Well, you see where you're currently at. So like if you don't have a pull up, obviously it's like, are you nowhere near it? Can you do a band pull up? Like, can you do a chin over bar hold? Whatever. But then ultimately what you want to do is not just focus on getting the pull up, it's about what have you got to do to get there. So it could be make sure that you work on pull ups. Could be once a week or twice a week or whatever it is.
And it's like, in the last one, time bound sets you a boundary. So which can be like multiple things. It could be like, I want to get a pull up by June, right? And then another aspect of that is like what Ben just said, I want to get a pull up by June, and how I'm going to do that is by practicing. Like I'm going to reach out to Haley, get a pull up program, then I'm going to do my pull up program 2 times a week, every week until June. You know, it's got to be relevant because obviously getting a pull up is relevant in the gym. Achievable, like hopefully that's something you can achieve. You can also chat to us if like you're, you know, if you don't have a strict pull up, obviously, or maybe not obviously, but probably don't make your goal to like get a 10 kipping ring muscle ups in a row or something. Like make it something that's achievable.
Start with something. It's fine to have some things that are long term, but make sure we've got some steps along the way. I'll give you an example of one of my goals that I want to achieve this year. I don't have many training specific ones, but I really want to bench press 140 kilos.
You didn't tell me that the other day. That could have been a good one for my video.
Because I had a more important goal. I'm gonna keep a
That's
tally.
a good goal. Okay.
I have to keep a tally of how many times I beat you.
So, what can you bench now?
I think the best I did, it was like recently at the end of 2024. I think I did 128.
Nice.
Tried 130 a couple of times and just not quite got it. But I'm not going to just jump to 140. Now, if I was going to set a serious time frame on it, like middle of the year, gives me enough time, but it's probably also something I've got to really apply myself to do. But the goal, shorter term would be to like, okay, make sure I'm bench pressing once or twice a week. And next time, if I plan my own program out, which I may just do what the gym does, when we're going to the next heavy, session and doing heavy singles, it's just to get like 130 or 131, and that's an important milestone. Like, I'm not going to take that for granted. I'm going to feel great about that, even though it's not 140. And then same thing, go through that cycle again and again until hopefully we hit 140.
Very good. That's a very good example of a goal. Other goals I've sort of set with members is like people want to get back into like consistency. You can have a consistency goal. So I want to train 5 days a week every week, and like then they set themselves, all right, like I'm going to definitely do this class, and then I've got 2 other ones. If I miss that, I can do this. I got to maybe get up at 5:30 a.m. Like, that's a good goal. Food, like nutrition-based goals. I'm going to prioritize getting a palm full of protein in every meal that I eat to the best of my ability. Obviously, like, you can go out to dinner with your friends, that like stuff like that. But when you're controlling it, palm of protein every meal. That's another goal that I've sort of set with someone. You can also do process goals, which I myself have sort of set. This year, I think process goals are more important than some other goals. But like last year, one of my big goals was to like enjoy the process of the CrossFit Games like season, enjoy the Open, enjoy the quarterfinals, hopefully qualify for a semi-final and enjoy that. And like that was like one of my biggest successes of the year, was just like hitting those goals. And it's not really a specific, like my goal, I guess, was to qualify for Torium, but like my main goal was to enjoy the quarterfinals, and that was kind of just like a bonus, So you could set a goal like that to enjoy doing running when you hate running before, like, that's kind of like a mindset goal in a way.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many different things you can do, and it's probably really good to like, rather than just have one really, specific goal in one area of your health and fitness, is like set a few in different areas.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Work towards some different things. They feed into one another anyway, and you've got more opportunities to feel good about making achievements when you spread yourself a little bit like that, because it's not all about this one thing, that 140 bench. And it's like, next time we do a single, I only get 125. And it's like, fuck, what's happening? It's like, if I'm working on my, mindset and my mood and my positivity and all those sort of things, then little setbacks along the way don't matter as much, because I'm growing as a person, and I might have a nutrition goal that I'm hitting, and maybe I'm like sitting a bit leaner if I want to be leaner, or whatever it is. And so you don't just get so hung up on that one thing that isn't always just going to be a linear path forward.
And I think one thing that's really important too at this time of year is remembering that it is January, and like everyone is kind of really motivated. Like, we've all got these fresh new goals. Like, you've got to actually spend this time building the habits that is going to allow you to stay consistent to reach these goals. So you can't just be like, yep, all right, I'm in like 3 weeks, and then these habits are like not sustainable for your lifestyle. You're just really struggling, and then you just drop right off. Like, you need to be kind to yourself, know that it's a long process, and build like healthy, sustainable habits that are going to help with consistency over time, so that you can just like continue to grow, like, rather than just having this like, January, like, I'm so good, and then you get to February and you're like, man, I'm absolutely cooked, way too tired, I'm never going to reach my goal. It's just, we want to avoid that.
I'm going to go off script a little bit here. I think this is a really good opportunity for those that are listening and watching to like take a bit of pen and paper out, or notes on your phone or whatever you've got handy, and maybe like just have something, like start with a mindset goal.
Yep.
Everyone's got something they can work on. It doesn't have to be this really big, challenging thing to achieve. It can just be something really, really small. Like just feel more positive every day, whatever it is. And then do something for your nutrition. You know, for me, I might like, honestly, the one thing I'd probably put down for myself is just eat less sugar.
Eat less crap.
Yeah, eat less sugar in particular. I'm a bit of a sweet tooth, so that's a really simple thing. I know it's not a very tangible goal, but it's like a good overriding thing to work on.
Yep.
Recovery. Again, I'll use an example for myself. It's going to be to sleep 7.5+ hours every night. I'm probably averaging closer to 7, so
Oh, that's good.
I feel like getting a little bit more would be more beneficial. And then something around your health, your training, or your fitness. So again, it might be like train 4 days a week, you know, on average for the next 3 months. It could be more specific, like lifting a certain weight, but have those, like, I think those 4 categories are good starting points, and
you got homework.
just write one thing down for each, and then like you can obviously add to that. If you do set a time-based goal, then like start to break it down and how you're going to sort of work towards that over a longer period. And if you want to share that with any of us, come and speak to myself or Hayley or Andy or Al, and we'll be more than happy to give you our thoughts or feedback or guidance around it.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think they were very good points. And if you're listening to this and you're unsure, like definitely just get a piece of paper out, write those 4 headings that Ben said. What are they? Mindset, nutrition, recovery, and training. / fitness. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Awesome. And then you can also do like, you could make a 5th one and write personal, and you could come up with something non-gym related, and you can have a little 5th part on there too, because that's important too. Yeah. So yeah, do that. I think that's pretty good. Set some good goals.
Absolutely. I think we'll wrap it up there. If you guys have any further questions, please reach out. Thanks for listening yet again.
Yeah, that was a good first podcast of 2025, 12th one. So we've done this for a full year.
We've been consistent with it. Hey, that's the kind of goal that, you know, when we started this, it was like, what's the point if we don't actually do it every month?
Okay, we need to make a podcast goal. I reckon for 2025, we need to interview like 3 people.
We've got one that we've sort of pushed back this month.
Yeah,
I wanted to next. We'll probably get to next month.
But I guess next month we'll do that.
Okay.
Interview 3 people. I don't know. Do a Q&A? No, I don't know.
Get over 100 views or listens on. I don't know
maybe.
if we might have had
I don't know what we're
already.
actually at.
Yeah.
We've got to think about our goals. We'll let you know next podcast what our podcast goals are.
Yeah. Have every single member 1 month actually listen
to it. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know what you want to hear, what you thought of the episode, and yeah, we'll see you soon in the gym.
See ya.
Bye.